Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12. Good to see you. I pray that the Most High Yah is bringing you peace, bringing you shalom, and all is well with the family. We got to continue to prepare. Sure, we probably saw the news. I know Shabbat, a lot of us don't like to look at the news, but we kind of saw what was going on down in Venezuela. Same time what's going on out in Nigeria. And we see all the different things that are happening across the planet, as well what's going on here where we're at. So just want to ask the Most High Yah to continue to keep our families safe, and give us a higher level of discernment, especially during the season. We need to know whether it's traveling. There's people now who are, they're stuck. Some people they're in part of like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. They can't get certain places. Some people, because they have connecting flights. We just come to that time that we have to really just ask the Most High for the discernment on every single thing we do, every place we go, and just ask for, that protection, and just continue just to pray, because we know that there are believers that are scattered worldwide. Yes, Sister Sharon, they are. Yeah, he's good all the time. There's, we're scattered into the four corners of the earth. So we just ask for protection over all the people as well, those who are trying to abide by the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments as well. Let me go on. We'll go ahead and get started. It's us today. I'm going to start out in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12. The Most High Yah says, "If you listen to these commands and obey them faithfully, then Yahweh, your Lord your God, will continue to keep his covenant with you. He will show you his constant love as he promised your ancestors. He will love you and bless you so that you will increase in numbers and have many children. He will bless your fields so you will have grain, wine, olive oil, and he will bless you by giving you many cattle and sheep. He will give you all these blessings in the land that he promised your ancestors he would. No people in this world will be as richly blessed as you. None nor any of your livestock will be sterile. Yahweh will protect you from sickness, and he will not bring on you any of the dreadful diseases that you experienced in Egypt. But he will destroy them, and he will bring them on all of your enemies. Destroy every nation that the Lord your God places in your power, and do not show them any mercy. Do not worship their gods, for that will be fatal." Hey, shalom. So we see that the Most High Yah has told us that he was going to give us blessings, and the blessings come from us being obedient. So when people say, how can I be obedient to God? How can I be obedient to Yah, Yahweh? What do I have to do to be obedient? He says, we go back, fear Yah and keep his commandments. Fear him. And he's telling us, I gave you these sets of commandments. Yes, we understand there's 613, but it's compressed into 10. If you break them down, it's to allow us to understand, certain situations that they were put in where it was like, okay, well, I need to know this is more detail. But he says, I give you 10 easy commandments. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to follow. And everything that comes your way, I'm going to put a blessing on it. But in life, what happens is, we start to realize, Shalom, we start to sometimes question, and we question the Most High. And hey, I'm doing everything that's right. I'm keeping your laws. I'm keeping your commandments. I'm just trying to be a better person. I'm working on my attitude. I'm stopping the drugs. I'm stopping stopping the alcohol. I'm stopping the anger. You're trying to do all these things, and sometimes it seems like you're like, wow, well, when is something good gonna come my way? Because it seems like destruction is all around me. Just keep it real. It happens. And it just seems like when you're on your way up, elevating up, it goes back to the mountain lesson that I taught months back. The higher you elevate, the more you move, the more what? The more the enemy's going to attack you. The more it gets harder. When you start at the bottom of the mountain, it's easy. But as you start to elevate yourself and as you go up, for those who've been hiking, you should know that. As you start to elevate, you're going to come into more pitfalls, more traps. You're going to say, okay, it was easy just walking. Okay, now you got to tread through land and ground that has never been walked through, right? So now you're creating your own path. Now, listen, we just have to just remember just to stay in the lane, because Yahweh, our Lord, our God, he's our protector. He's going to be there. We got to remember, he says, I want you to be free. And I'm not making a mockery of this, because, the late Martin Luther King, free at last, thank God Almighty. He said, listen, sometimes we get free, but what? We put the shackles back on our own self. Sometimes, Sister Sharon, yeah, he's testing. Sometimes we get where he's saying, I've taken you here, I moved you here, right? And we get here, and then what happens? We don't move any further. Sometimes we get comfortable. Sometimes what happens, we become what? A prisoner of war. We become a prisoner of our own self, and we want to turn around. This is what y'all can see the past couple of weeks, these lessons. I self, Lord and Master, you are the master yourself. The Most High Shalom says, he's saying, listen, I'm giving you these things, right? I want you to move forward. I want you to elevate. I want you to change, but you still got the shackles on your legs. You're not walking. You're not moving. That's why sometimes in our life, trials and tribulations happen in our life, because that's the only way that we're going to get out. That's the only way we're going to get up and we're going to move forward. Sometimes it takes those things. But we want to get to a point in time that, listen, we're not going to be a prisoner of our own war. We're not going to be a prisoner of our past. We're not going to be a prisoner. You get it. And you're not going to let nobody make you become their prisoner. Let's look at Psalms 124:7. It says, we'll start at 6. Let us thank Yahweh. Let us thank Yahweh, the Lord, who has not let our enemy destroy us. I didn't let him destroy you. Listen, if we go back and look, right, we wait for the fire to move. Why? Why are we always waiting till we get somewhere? No, keep elevating, keep moving. Even if you got to put the fire on your own butt, right? Even if so you still continue to elevate. We get comfortable, we get complacent, right? So it says, let us thank Yah, who has not let our enemies destroy us. Our enemy starts within us. Our enemy is our own thinking. Our enemy is our own mind, right? Your mind is pretty much an enemy, because your mind always wants to say, hey, look, I'm going to remind you of these things from the past. Hey, I'm going to remind you that, hey, you know what? You really don't have what it takes. Listen, the past is the past. Get out the rear view mirror. It's too many of us. Let's think about it. If you're driving a car and you're always looking up in that rear view mirror, it's good to look in the rear view because you see where you're coming from. Sometimes you got to look in that rear view because you see that enemy that's coming up, creeping behind you, or that car that's bobbing and weaving and someone driving crazy. But what happens if you just stay in that rear view the whole time? You don't see what's in front of you. Boom. Get out the rear view mirror, right? A lot of times we like to reminisce. We like to sit back. We think about the good times, right? And because the good times often brought us joy. But was it really true joy? Because when you were in the world and outside of the spirit, right? So now we start to learn what joy is in a different sense, right? And then we look back and we look at some of the times in the past that bring us sorrow and pain. Now we're looking at the times that bring us sorrow and pain, right? And when that starts to occur, sometimes it locks us in back into our mind, and you become that prisoner, or you become trapped in the past. And you're like, I'm trying to figure out the way to move forward. I'm trying to, well, you already moved forward. You already escaped, right? So when you're a prisoner of war, right? In all due respect for all those who have served or those who maybe have been kidnapped or suffered something traumatic in their life and you really were a prisoner. But when we're dealing with prisoner of war, right? Whether it's military, non-military, just being a prisoner in life, you are becoming held captive against what? Your own will. Are we? Because does our mind, right? We have the will and the mind power to move, but sometimes we don't. You get stagnant, you get frozen. Let me get back to scripture. But it said, let us thank Yah who has not let our enemies destroy us. We have escaped like a bird from a hunter's trap. You have escaped. You may not think you did. You may say, hey, you know what? My escape is living in Beverly Hills. Well, y'all saying, no, that's not the type of escape that, no, you have escaped from the pitfall. You have escaped from the things that were going to pull you down that you didn't even know. He's telling you, Psalms 124, I'm at 7. You have escaped like a bird from a hunter's trap. The trap is broken and we are free. The trap is broken and you are free, right? So if we're free, if the trap was broken, why do we still feel like we're captured? Why do we still let people, places, and things put the shackles back on us? Because the shackle, what's going on, bro? The shackle is back into our mind. Remember, your mind is your master. You continue you master. Use, for example, if I say I'm going to do something, you put it in your mind first. That's why I encourage everybody to read A Man Thinketh. I know y'all gonna get tired of hearing me saying it. It's true, because he understood and took the Proverbs. But what happens is, you know, when we deal with prisoners of war, they're often captured by ambushes. You know, they're shot. Heavy aircraft, heavy military, you know, we see things that were happening, right? Sometimes they were hijacked, they were taken into custody, but, you know, what happened while they were in custody, right? What happens here? Because the Most High says, we have escaped like a bird from the hunter's trap. The trap is broken and we are free. Our help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. We put ourselves back into the pit. We put ourselves back in because sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. This is where I should be. I'm not happy that I'm here, but, you know, I should be. No, stop comparing yourself to everybody in the world. You have your own assignment. You have your own, listen, your assignment is where you, listen. I know this may want, this deep. We want to, there's a word, Captain Kirk back in the day. You want to captain save everybody. No, your assignment is who the Most High brings in your life. And then you have to say to him, okay, what is my assignment? Our assignment as people and those who are coming in the truth is to what? Set people free. Stop letting them be bound. Listen, we gotta understand this, right? So when prisoners of war were taken captive, what was happening? They were tortured. They were put in places of physical slavery. What happens when our mind gets captured? We're going back, I said earlier, get out the rear view mirror. You trap yourself of the good days. Oh, that was just a great marriage. Oh, that was good when the money was coming in. Oh, that was good when I was in the club and I was getting all of the, you trap your mind, and your mind starts to what? Get you gridlocked, right? And then now you got to be careful, because you can slowly put yourself back in a depression, right? Because sometimes you'll end up trying to go backwards to where you came from, and then it don't work out the way it did back then, or you go backwards and you get caught up into something. Now you became your own prisoner because you weren't supposed to go there. It says it. He set you free. We became free. Listen, I'm not saying that the past is something that's so bad that we should just always just, you know, see and say, oh, I don't want a remembrance of the past. There's great things that happened in the past, but there were things that happened in your past that the Most High, that Yahweh, God of the Bible, he saved us from, that we didn't see it. Something that I made it out on this scam, right? I did a scam and I made it over. Imagine if you had got caught. Imagine if it was your time. Imagine if he says, you know what? I'm not going to, what do you say? The Bible says, wink. He's not going to wink his eye to ignorance. I'm going to allow you to move forward. But see, what happens is we can sometimes, we get so caught up, right? And it's just like this. You fall victim, you fall in the pit, you fall in the trap. So like a prisoner of war, when he's trapped, he's what? Starving from water. He's starving from food. He's starving from shelter. Sometimes he's what? You're fighting, right? Right, death. We don't see it. We don't see our past as a place of death, or we don't see, a pitfall or somewhere that we came from. But it can go that way. I know y'all know this. Come on, we're people. We've seen people. I've seen people have it all and turn around and just like that, gone, everything gone. I've seen people who've never touched a drug in their life. Today they're hooked on crystal meth. Never touched a drug on their life. One day, one bad time, everything went bad. It looked like everything was good at the time because they were trying to what? Bring back that past, euphoric feeling of the past where they shouldn't have been, and it trapped them. They were there. So now they became what? A prisoner in their own war. Listen, Satan experiments on us. Remember, we're like test tube babies. Let's keep it real. He tries to experiment on us because sometimes he says, okay, that made his father fall. That made his mother weakness. And that's the same thing. The same is really a sin that he traps us in, that he tries to say, okay, I know I can get that next generation with the same exact thing. That's why we have to go back and pray those things out. We got to say, listen, I know this is how my mother raised me. I know this is how my father raised me. Or I know this isn't how they raised me, and this is how I came up with myself. And you gotta crush that thing right at the head, because it is a generational curse. It's a spirit that gets passed down. This is why sometimes we often see our own children. Let's keep it real. What they say, birds of a feather stick together. Birds of the same. We see that sometimes all of our friends. You ever see somebody in a group of friends all go through the same thing at the same time? Or you see your child, or you see your other family members suffering with things that you're like, wow, man, I struggled at the same exact thing. Listen, we got to understand, because we got to understand this, right? When thank you, brother. It is, because it is the generational. It comes down to it. It's our duty is to make sure, right, that our children don't have to do the things that we did or go through. Okay, everybody didn't struggle. Yes, that's right. We didn't all do, but some things we did that we knew we shouldn't have did and we got away with, and this was my leg up to go and not teach them the way. That's called the way of the heathen, the way of the world. Listen, this isn't 1995 anymore. You make a mistake, it can cost you everything. It can cost your great-grandchildren everything, all because of a choice. All because you said, you know what, I saw my son or daughter was doing something, I didn't correct it because I said, that's just life. Let them go through it. Now they became trapped and became a prisoner of war. Why? Because you didn't correct something that, a lot of us think, you think it was cute. We thought it was cute back then. Now the thing that was cute turned into what? A pure monster. Now we're having, we're fighting. Think about it. You're fighting the thing in you that you never corrected. That's why sometimes when you deal with your children, you deal with your family, you're battling, right? Many yous. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pull my hair. Yo, I ain't got hair no more, but I'm going to pull my hair out, because it's like, wait, that was something in me that I didn't correct, or I knew that was wrong, that I never ever addressed. And now I'm battling that thing out that what increased in our child, increased in your grandchildren, increased in your family, right? So I get it in life. There are times where it seems, everything is going well. It's all sunshine and rainbows. It's not even a smell of foul in the air, right? But you got to be like a soldier. You got to be focused to stay alert. So, because remember, so you don't become that prisoner. What happens? What's he say? Sleep is a cousin of death, right? You start sleeping. You start not paying attention. You become what? A victim, right? And you being the head of your household, you being the head of your life, right? The enemy wants to take you down, because truth be told, without you, just think about it. Sometimes we don't like to think about it. Close your eyes and say, what would the world be like without me today? We don't like to think about that. What would my family be like? Are they ready? Are they going to fall victim to the pitfall? Or is my son, my daughters, my grandchildren, are they going to be able to what? Remember, Everybody's built different. You might have went through something that you were able to, through the help of the Most High, pull yourself out of, but your children may not be able to do the same thing. Listen, I know it's tough, man, but when you start moving and as a believer and you're trying to move and keep your and elevate your life, remember, he wants us here, not here. He wants us looking forward, not in the rearview mirror. He doesn't want us looking back and going through all the, man, listen, sometimes the things that we look back on, it brings you happiness, right? It's like, for example, you run into somebody you haven't seen in 20 years, right? And you're like, man, there was a reason why I haven't talked to this person. Come on, let's keep it real. Y'all know I'm transparent. And you're like, yo, it's been good. How things? And then that one person remembers and they bring it up. Yeah, I remember back in 99. Boom. And it sets you backwards. Now you're going backwards, right? Because, see, this is why we have to do better. But sometimes that is the pitfall to take you backwards. Now you become angered and have a bunch of resentment over something, right? And usually the Most High brings those things our way because sometimes say you got work to do or you didn't deal with this thing. I told you back then to deal with it. I'm gonna make you deal with it now. And that becomes a big challenge for most of us because, you know, I was the type of person, and most of us, we grew up in the same era. We learned we just cut jokers off. We'll cut it off. But we don't ever deal with the problem. We never dealt with the issue. We act like it wasn't there. It was there, homie. What are we doing, right? But a lot of times, I keep saying, we got to stay focused. We got to keep our mind straight. That's why the Bible says it's a direct. That means a road, a way. There's a road that he's saying, I need you to stay on this path. I need you to stay here. You're looking, oh, it looks so easy over there. But he says, it wasn't meant to be easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. But I challenge you. I gave you of all this wisdom and this knowledge, right? Because he's saying, I'm giving it to you because I know that you can make it. I know everything you went through. A lot of us got a lot of testimonies and books in us that it has to be released. You may think that your story is man, no, your story is there for someone. This is a testimony. That's what it's called, a testimony. I'm going to tell you the things that I went through. Because sometimes you're like, I'm telling my kids. Well, maybe they're not the ones that really need to hear it. It's this person that you're not telling that you go to work every day, that you see every day, right? Let me give y'all some scriptures real quick, get out your way. 1 Corinthians. Yo, shalom, brother. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. It says, look, be alert. He told us, be alert, pay attention. A lot of us, we're sleeping at the wheel. A lot of us, we don't even, there was a situation that happened in Chicago, right? And there was a brother in the faith, a believer. He was going, there were three youngins, right? We'll leave it like that. 2 males, one was 18, one was 15, and females 15. He's widely known in the community. They come up to him, say, hey, can I get some money for the bus? Because I'm stuck for the bus. So he's 63 years old, right? So let me put the word alleged, right? Because this stuff is still going to court. He bends down to go help them to take out $2 so the person get on the bus. Boom. They snuff him. They assaulted him. The man's in a hospital. He's in a hospital for a week. He was he was like in a coma, trying to do the right thing. This is why I say be alert, be vigilant, right? This is one of the pitfalls that believers or people who are trying to do right, you know what usually happens? We try to do right, but the wrong thing happens because Most High is saying, I don't want you to save everybody. I'm telling you, there's a certain group of people, these are the people who are drawn to. That's why you can have a business and you can tell everybody the same thing in your business, but out of 10 people, only 1 or 2 people actually hear what you said. That's who you were drawn to. It's like you could have 10 children. I don't want to pull the children because that's a touchy subject, right? But my point is, let's get back. We have to stay vigilant and we have to be smart in this season of what we're doing. Yes, he was trying to do the right thing. I'm not taking away from him because he may hear this word. But what happened to him, right? He became what? A victim because he wasn't diligent. He wasn't looking. He wasn't paying attention. A lot of times we got to ask the Most High, do I go here in a season? I just brought this up earlier because of what's happening in Venezuela, right? What's going on? Do I travel? Is it the right time? I need to pray before we go to Walmart. Because why? We could become a victim and become what? A prisoner of a war we weren't supposed to be in. We already got battling in our mental war. So 1 Corinthians 16:13, he says, be strong, stand firm in the faith, be brave, be strong. Do all your work in love. Do everything in love, right? Not saying the brother wasn't, right? But am I really giving this person money in love? Or am I giving this person money so I can be seen? Am I really helping out this person in love? Or am I just helping to be seen, right? So what? The glory comes back on me, right? So we got to be careful because the enemy, right? Satan has been trained in what? Counter surveillance, right? His whole goal is to what? Monitor you and watch you. It's just like being in the streets. Monitor you and watch you. Look for, okay, this is what he does or she does every single day to try to catch you, what? Being comfortable in your routine. So, sometimes we have to switch it up. It's just like in life. I know some of us are people of routine. I go to work, leave work, I go to the gym, I leave the gym, I come home, I do this. And this is sometimes how we become victims because of that routine. Sometimes we have to make it harder for the enemy. We have to make it harder for the ones that are trying to entrap you. The ones that their goal is to what? Make you their prisoner, take you custody, get you hard. Oh, I know this is their prayer hour. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start playing loud music. I'm going to start acting a fool. I'm going to start doing all these things that disturb. No, I'm going to switch up on it. I'm going to switch up so you really don't know. Yes, it's an inconvenience, right? But it's to what? Protect you. It's protect what? Your family. It's protect your whole well-being. Y'all get it? Y'all understand it? We got to apply this in today's world. He says, listen, I want you to have it all. I want you to be protected, but you got to want to protect yourself as well. You know, that was something from the old time. Oh, it's all in the hands of the Most High. No, he said it's in your hands. He's saying, I'm giving you, we're back to the beginning. I gave you domain. It's your choice what you do with it. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, put it together. Look, let's go to Psalms 140:4. It says, protect me, Yahweh, protect me, O Lord, Yahweh, from the power of the wicked. If there weren't wicked people out here, you know what? I'm going to deal with something real quick. Because I thought I was going to deal with this. If there it's wicked people all over the nation. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a short and post this, right? Because I'm tired of seeing it. Whenever there's an issue on the planet, right, lately, this is a sidebar. People always say, oh, man, it's oh, here we go. It's a certain group of people, whether it's black. Oh, he shot a black man, a white man, or he's white. He shot a black man, or he's Asian. He shot. Oh, there go these people again. Is it true? It's wickedness in the earth today. If you live, I'm gonna use an example. You live in China, right? Is there violence going on amongst or amongst? We'll use this the whole Asian community. If you live in your age, or you were using China, is there violence that's going on amongst the community? There's violence there. You live in Africa. Is there violence going in the African community? Yeah. Is there violence going around in Mexico? Yes. Is there violence that's going on in Eastern Europe? Yes. Is there violence going on? Come on, we're gonna get this closer. I know it's tight. This one may hurt. It's a spirit that you're dealing with. It's not a group of people. So I'm tired of it because you're reading it, and these people, especially some of my educated people, like, are you really serious? It's a spirit. It's a demon. Demons existed in every single geographical area in the planet. So we turn around and say, oh, it's his fault. No, it's a demon. That's what we got to deal with. People don't want to deal with this. We don't want to deal with this today. Listen, that's another lesson, but it's still the same. It's the arrogant. They have set a trap against us. We've gotten comfortable, but Zion, we got to be smart enough, right? We got to keep our guard up at all times. Sometimes it's keeping your guard up against the people that you love the most, because sometimes they were sent. They were sent from Satan to keep you to fall. I'm going to send this person to remind you, you ain't ever going to be nothing. Look at everything you done did in life and you still stuck here. time to cut the scissors out. You give them the benediction. Hey, brother, hey, sister, I don't like how you made me feel. I don't like what you were saying, right? But it's to what? Make you a prisoner so you can't move forward, so you can't elevate. You stay trapped. Your soul is on ice. You can't break your way out. Listen, yes, Sister Sharon, Satan is everywhere. It is a spirit that we're dealing with. It runs wild. It doesn't matter what geographical or national group or nationality or because that you belong to. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So we got to step in the spirit realm and deal with this. That's why in the beginning I read when the Most High said, if you turn back to my ways, if you follow my laws, statutes, and commandments, he says, I will heal your land and heal the people. But it starts in with you. We got to be healed. I can't heal myself if I'm stuck in gridlock and I'm in war, internal battle on the inside. Okay, so I got to go deal with this. Whether it's getting help, whether it's getting on my knees, whether it's praying. People always say, oh man, this religion thing, it don't work for me. Did you apply it? Did you really say, I'm going to apply this? I'm going to open up the book of Psalms like Elder said. I'm going to read this every day for 100+ days because it's 100+ Psalms and apply it and ask God to show me what does this really mean? Now, how do I apply it? Yes, you're going to get the revelation. It's like this. I go to the gym and work out and I'm sitting here using the same weight every single time. Unless you got genetics. Are you going to grow? No, you're going to stay the same. You got to move up. You got to challenge yourself, man. We got to see this, right? So, we got to look, Sister Sharon, and we got to look at our situations that are coming on and what's going on inside of us. It's what is inside of us that keeps us ready and prepared for the attacks that the enemy has. We always want to be prepared. Yeah, I'm ready. It's a spiritual battle. I'm ready. He say something wrong to me? Yo, that's the enemy in you. Because you got to be able to be focused. We're at the day today, in today's world where you're at the light and you look at somebody. I always tell everybody, go see the movie Unhinged. You say something to the wrong person. You look at that person the wrong way. They're dealing with demons, but we don't know what they just dealt with. You look at them wrong. Boom. You're going off the earth because you had the choice. You had the decision that you had to make. Yeah, I'm pissing. I'm not going to look at him because I know I'm going to give him some eyes of fire. Well, what if he gives them back to you right back? And men, we got to chill because some of the women, it's a lot of things that's going on out here. And we get caught slipping because we think we can just, listen, be careful. Matthew 7:15, let me stay focused because I want to be out your way. I want 45 minutes. It says, be on your guard against false prophets, right? That's when you look at the word prophet. Yes, a prophet is a spokesperson that came from the Most High that's here to teach you, to tell you, hey, listen, a prophet's job is to tell you to turn back from your ways. Think about it. In the Bible, we would only have to, this would be our current Bible today. That big. Because this is what he says, I want you to follow. But it took all of these prophets, and you can add in the so-called New Testament, all of this to come in. Because the prophet's job was coming in, telling them, hey, I need you to turn back from your ways and turn to the ways of the Most High. That's what he's saying. That's why the Most High Yah sent the prophet. You're a prophet in your own house. You're a spokesperson in your own home. You're a spokesperson in your own assembly. You're a spokesperson in your own world. We can't be no longer turning our head to foolishness and folly. This is what's happening. Yeah, they'll figure it out. Watching people do bad and we accept it. No, we're going to step and we're going to address it, right? So the Most High is telling us right here. So we got to look. It says, Acts 7:15, be on guard against false prophets. They come to you looking like sheep on the outside. People come to you, shalom, pastor, telling you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you everything you want to hear. Well, what happens if that person that I know isn't a true prophet from the Most High and they came and they told me every single thing I wanted to hear? You better be careful. You better go back and say, wait, how did this person know every single thing that I'm going through? False prophets. Satan can use people. He can manipulate them. Yes, they are skilled and they have the skill. I know people used to say, like growing up in Jersey, Atlantic City, hey, don't go to the soothsayers, don't go get your hands read. I've never done it. I've seen people do it and they got it right. And I'm like, whoa, how'd they know that about them? And it wasn't just listen, Apostle, you noticed, it just wasn't a fluke. So you gotta be careful because Satan, right? He can manipulate this earth in the spirit realm. And people can, and then you fall victim, you fall traps to this, right? Ambushes can be so subtle. You went to the soothsayer, got your hand read, even though the Bible says we shouldn't. I'm just because I'm just going on here. And they told you everything about you. Hey, at 3 o'clock today, you're gonna walk out in the street, you're gonna get hit by a car and die. So what do? Walk out in the street, you get hit by the car. First of all, you believe what the person had to say, but you fell victim to what? The false prophet, the false guard. It says they came looking like a sheep, but on the inside they're like wild wolves. You will know them by what they do. Thorn bushes do not bear grapes, and briars do not bear figs. Listen, we got ambushes. We gotta be careful because the ambush that the enemy sets up, y'all seen it. The whole purpose of us knowing who Judas was to understand what an ambush is. The whole purpose of you understanding what an ambush is so you can look out and what? Make sure your family, your children, your apostles, your people you love don't get caught off guard. But what do? They can handle it. Maybe they can't handle it. Maybe they're being ambushed in all kind of different directions that you ain't even seeing, but you're not doing your diligence to step up, to step into place, to say, hold on, I see something. Yet they fell victim, the stranger. I was talking about earlier, I don't know if y'all caught it. There was a brother that was out of Chicago, right? I'm not sure if he was with one of the he was known in the community. He was getting on the bus. And I don't know if you saw him. He was 63 years old, falling victim. And I'm not saying that there was nothing wrong. Please don't make this go viral. I don't need Great Millstone or none of those campers coming and coming down on me or people, but they went and asked him, there's 3 people, an 18-year-old and 2 15-year-olds, a male and female. Hey, can I get $2 to get on the bus? They knew him as a Hebrew in the community who was doing things. What did they do? He reached down, took out his money, and they assaulted him. He was in the hospital for over a week trying to do the right thing. And I'm not saying that he didn't do the right thing, but we got to be vigilant, right? They came up to him, right? They looked like they were what? Sheep, but they were raven wolves, and assaulted him and took his money and assaulted him right on the bus line in Chicago. And he was in there, and praise the Most High, he came out of the concussion that he was in. So now you got all this stuff that's going on in turmoil, and I pray that the brothers out there, the ones that are really out there, because they came back from their past, don't fall victim to what? The gang and street violence. Yes, we have to step forward out in the streets. It's a problem. We got to deal with it. For our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. For they have what? Fell victim, right? But we got to still be careful in this season as well, because it could be an ambush that was setting us up, right? Just like our mother, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, all the people that's in our lives, right? They know your pattern. They know how you move. They know, listen, it's being funny, but I'm going to be real here, right? Mary's on. She'd be like, oh, yeah. ask her this next week, y'all. Y'all can ask her in person. Oh, yeah, you think the elder, I can get under the elder's skin like that. I can get under my husband's skin real quick. Not saying that she used it, but that's it. Because first of all, it's something that I didn't graduate away from, which I have, which I am. But people who know you, they know what to do to what? Push your buttons to set you apart from being set apart. Oh, you think this person? We got to be careful, because we became the prisoner of our war. We became trapped. We became, yes, Pastor Betty, we have to learn not to witness what our bleeding heart and have more discernment. It is, we can't save everybody. It was a song, Captain Saver. We can't save everybody. Some people are just doomed for destruction. Yes, I can drop a word and keep it moving. Ezekiel 33, the blood's not on my hand. I'm not telling you all not to stand in the gap. I'm not telling you all to witness in the Most High, but you gotta use cautions in this excuse me, please. They probably flagged it in this era. What do you think in 70 AD when Constantine, when they came into the area for all believers, right? When they were persecuting them, do you think they were running around and trying? No, they had to hurry up and maneuver and move. They knew, I got to get to where it's safe. Because if I don't get to where my safety is, I'm going to become a prisoner, right? And what happens when you become a prisoner? You're no good. You're a prisoner in your own thought. you become no good. You become evil. You become wicked. The seeds, they start to multiply inside of you. That's why we got to stay out the rearview mirror. When we look at the Bible, many of the stories we're we're talking about moving forward and not backwards, right? You know, Psalm 32:8, it tells us we have to, God says, I'm going to instruct you and I'm going to show you what? The direction, the way. God said, I'm going to show you the way to go, right? Once in a while, you may have to go backwards, but you better be ready. If I'm a former addict and I was using drugs and I know I'm not ready to go back into the crack house, do I go back? Am I really ready? Sometimes we do it on our own. I got this. No, you don't have it. No. I'm going to go send 2 or 3. Y'all need to go in there and go get my brother, sister out of there. I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to go backwards. But he's telling you to move forward, right? As the Israelites did, right? Sometimes we become victims because we become polarized. Pastor, apostle, we became fearful. Imagine you didn't go to Africa, apostle. Fearful. You don't know how many lives that you could have changed. Because sometimes people say, okay, I've been hearing my teacher, my moray, speak this. It's just like this. You know, you can, now that's a pet peeve of mine. You can go, somebody can tell somebody the same thing you've been telling them for 20 years and then they get it. Sometimes it's just remember, everybody, you were designed for a specific purpose and a specific reason, and it will be some people that just hear you and they understand you. Don't take it personal. I can't take it personal that I said the same thing to my child, but Pastor Betty walked up and said it and her behavior changed like this. We got to get rid of that. But listen, we got to continue to move forward because fear can cause us to what? Move backwards or stay stagnant. Even in life, I'm fearful of starting my own business. I'm fearful of going back to school. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm fearful of, doing the things that Yah created. He created us to what? Move forward. Even animals understand that through migration. They got to migrate or move. They stick around, they stay, they going to die. You don't want to die in this season, in this world. John 18:2. I'm trying to keep this down, right? Book of John, New Testament, 18:2. It says, Judas the traitor knew where it was because many times Yeshua, some would say Jesus, had met there with his disciples, right? So Yeshua already knew. That was the one that was close to him. I know how to set him up. I know where he's going to be. Our family does the same thing. I know what to get on. You know what? I'm feeling some type of way. Think about it. Come on, we all been there. Have y'all just been like, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm going to just call somebody and tell them the peace of my mind. That's the spirit that drops in within us. He said, listen, we knew that Yeshua knew his time was coming. He predicted that someone was going to betray him. He still warned what? His friends or his soldiers or his disciples, right? To stay alert, right? Was that Matthew 26? Let's go there. Sometimes we tell people to stay alert because it's the season that for some reason I can't. I got so much going on in my life. I can't do it. He said, listen, I need you to pray for me. Keep your eyes peeled, right? This is what our goal is. Listen. What is that? Matthew 26. Come on, somebody help me. We're talking about when we're looking where Yeshua. Give me a second. Maybe it's not in there. Maybe it's Matthew 26. Hold on. Let the roll. Oh, 40. Okay. 39. All right. We'll start at I'm cutting the middle verse. The sorrow in my heart is so great that it almost crushes me. Stay here and keep watch with me. This is when he's praying in the garden because he knew his time. He went a little further on. He threw his face downward on the ground and prayed. Yahweh, my Father, if it's possible, take this cup of suffering from me. Yet it's not what I want, but it's what you want. Then he returned to the 3 disciples and found them asleep. Then you return back to your family and said, I just need you. I need you for 5 minutes. I need you for 10 minutes. Sometimes people just want to see you rock bottom. They felt backwards. This look at this. He's saying, I needed you to stand in the gap for me. I needed you to be here and watch my back because sometimes you just don't have the energy to do it. Sometimes you're battling so much other different stuff, whether it's with your family, your job, your health, everything at one time. And you just listen. just bring me a glass of water. Because I just can't do it. It's okay. It's okay for us to ask for help, right? And then when you ask for help and those people choose not to help you, we kind of know. We keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. You showed me your things the first time. You showed me your patterns the first time. I'm not going to get trapped and become a prisoner because that was your job to what? Lock me in. Many people come in our lives to say that I'm with you, I'm on your team, or to be believers, but they turn out and they become what? Instruments. What? And that are used against us. And then we turn around and we get upset and get mad about it. Then he's like, hey, I showed you already before, but you didn't believe it. You didn't see it. You know, we got to take heed to the words that we're given, that the words that the Most High has. Listen, things happen for reasons. I'm not saying Yeshua Christ knew, but somewhere down the line, it was something about Judas that he saw that he knew right then and there. He knew it before that. He knew it. He saw it. But how come his disciples are the ones that were around him? This goes back. I want y'all, if y'all didn't check it, go back and listen to the message because Facebook is taking these messages down. So it was a message on First Maccabees that I did. It was a message that they didn't see the trap from that was coming. They understood. They knew who was part of the secluded empire. They understood who Alexander the Great was in the army. They understood. They heard it. They had all the warnings, but they didn't believe what was coming their way. We got to stop. Stop not believing. If it walks like a duck, acts like a duck, right, or whatever it is, it's it. Because if we fail to listen, it could what? Result in us becoming a prisoner in a war that we're battling, and Satan says, I got you over there battling this out, and all this other hell is breaking loose in our life, right? We were given references over and over and over in the Bible over people who were captive, people who were taken captive in war. We understand what Shaul, or the Bible people, they call him, or he's commonly referred to as Paul, right? In Acts chapter 7. So we understand Paul was locked up many times, right? So we understand Acts chapter 7, verse 51, right? It says, okay, so Paul was talking to Stephen at the time. He said, how stubborn you are. How stubborn are we that we aren't recognizing what? The pitfalls of the enemy, that we keep getting trapped. We keep getting sucked in. If you love me, now we understand Hebraically, for those who don't know, look up the word ahava. Look up what the word love means. If we really understand what love means, right? And so let me keep going because we're trying to stay on time. How stubborn you are, Stephen went on to say, how heathen is your heart that you are deaf to Yahweh's messages. This is a message. There's a reason why you're here. It's a message. The Bible says that we all are going to be, we're going to be judged by what? Every idle word. We're going to be judged by everything that was put into us, into our brain, and what? We didn't do anything with. Right? He says, how stubborn are you, right? How heathen are your hearts that you are deaf to the message? You are just like your ancestors. Back to what I said earlier. You're just like your ancestors. You know why? Because our ancestors didn't deal with the things of the past. Our ancestors didn't deal with that, oh, it was cute. No, it was a demon that looked like it was cute. And now it done what? It made itself so big that you're battling that little grandkid and you're like, wow, that was me. Y'all ever see it? I looked at my kid, I looked at my daughter like, oh, that's me. Oh, that was me. My mom like used to say, like, Amira ain't never been to North Philly a day in her life. Well, where did that come from? I'm like, that's you, Mom. My mom, I was like, that's you right there. And we giggle and laugh about it, but in all sincerity and being serious, you're like, yo, wait, that's something my mom ain't deal with, so I gotta address this and deal with Amir, because likely it's probably within me. He said, listen, you are just like your ancestors. You have always resisted the Holy Spirit. You have always resisted. I'm too busy. I don't want to get on Sabbath. It's taking too long. I'll catch it later on. I don't want to pray before I go to bed. You're resisting. The Most High is trying to show you something. He's saying, hey, Pastor, listen, everything that's going on, I'm trying to show you something, but you're resisting it. And now you're a prisoner. You're a prisoner of war. Because why? We got to be careful during this time not to become what? Our own victim, right? And sometimes victims victimize people. So now other people, we may unconsciously not know we're doing it, we entrap other people. We do. It'll take some time. It took me 20 years to, stop eating pork. You'll get it one day. No, you're going to get it today. Because what did I do? I put that seed in you that you have the time. We don't have the time. The world is spinning like this. People are leaving the earth just like that. And we're telling people we have time. So now we're sitting before the Most High, and he says, that brother came to you and told you, hey, I'm trying to work on this area of my life. And you said, it'll probably take you about 10 years. You still got to mature. Well, he didn't have 10 years. Matter of fact, he died in his sin. It's the truth. It's the truth. Because we want to put a timeline on things. This guy can crack right now. We just saw what was going on in South America. It's very close to home. We may not all be the remnant or the 144, or we may not. We got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And don't be scared. John 10:27, right? It says, sorry, I go back. I think I stopped the scripture. It said, Peter kept talking to Cornelius as he went into the house where he found many people gathered. He said to them, you yourselves know very well, right, that a Jew is not allowed by his religion to visit or associate with Gentiles. But Yah has shown me that I must consider any person ritually unclean or defiled. And so when you sent for me, I came with any objection. He said, I still came with any objection. He said, I may not agree with what my teacher is telling me to do or telling me what I need to pray on. See, this is the thing where prophets, some of our biggest problem is well, yeah, that was a word from the Most High, but he would have told me myself. He did tell you yourself, you probably just didn't hear him. Or when he spoke to you, you just didn't want to hear him. Oh, man, he's given us that free will. He's given us the free choice. He said, listen, I'm going to do it without any objection. Why? Because after I go through and after I go through and I listen to what the Most High Yah is trying to, remember, he's always trying to show us stuff, even through our worst times in life. I'm trying to show you something. But I need you to, you said it earlier today. What Bob say? Hear with my ears and see with my ears and hear with my eyes. But are we really ready? Are we really willing? We want what we want. We want our hands all in the sauce and then get mad when our hands are sticky. Them sticky hands, they cause problems. He's giving us free will. We got to understand that sometimes it's time to go because that person became a prisoner of your war that has stopped your ministry. That you said, I've been working all these years trying to work on this person. And you got so frustrated. That's what Satan wanted. I've been working all these years trying to change this person. And then you gave up. And think about all the millions of people that you could have changed or you could have helped. Right? People can only really save themselves. You are the spokesperson. You speak the word to them, whether they're believers or not. But the rest is up to them. It's up to you. It's the free will, the free choice that he's given. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? You have had free choice now to be here today. You had free choice to be involved in 3 or 4 or 5 different services today. You had free choice to be saying, hey, you know what? The college game is on. Oh, no, ain't no game on. Wait, in the game tonight, free choice, maybe the NFL playoffs? Or the no, not the players, the Steelers and Ravens. Maybe that's tomorrow. No, that's tonight. But even earlier, you had free choice, free will to say, this is what I choose to do. So like it's sundown now, I'm out. The Most High is trying to tell us, I need you to be a warrior in today's world, in today's time. Well, I'm not a warrior. Yes, you are. You are a warrior. That's why he pulled you out. That's why he set you apart. But each warrior has a tomorrow night, all right. Each warrior, it's an 8 o'clock game. I thought I got him. Yeah, today's Saturday. I've been home a couple of days, y'all, from work. So my days are I'm like, man, is this what retirement feels like? My days are just all twisted up. Okay, but it's Saturday, right? He's like, I pulled you off for a time. Well, I'm not a warrior like that person is. You are. You're a warrior in your own. But you better figure out what your skill set is. You better figure out what your weapon is. You better figure out what you could bring to what? The table, right? Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go for him, right? You better figure out. Because he's telling you that stop judging your battle skills to that person next to you. You all work together. It's 10 parts, right? You got just like each body part, you have each body part. They all work together. We all work together in the spirit realm when it's time to battle, right? Man, look. Yeah, I gotta go with the Ravens since my Cincy. We didn't do it. Yeah, I don't like them Steelers. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't deal with the Steelers, you know. And hopefully they pull it through, you know. They pull it on through. It's and that college football is another thing. Let me jump into Psalms, right? Psalms 119. I'll be out your way. Psalms 119. And I'm gonna get one of these digital things that everybody's doing, but I still like the papers ruffling. Psalms 119, 155. It says what? Defend my cause. 154. Set me free. Save me as you promised. This is where we were going in. Set me free. Stop being a prisoner. He said, I set you free. You just went back. You went back to the pitfall. I set you free. You went back and got snapped with the booby trap. I set you free, but you didn't believe you were free. You're walking around with the shackles, right? You're free off the shackles off your hands, but they're on your mind. I can't do this. Well, who said that? You better sit down and pray and heal yourself from the bottom of the feet to your crown of your head. You better get yourself some oil. I can't get up. Didn't we learn anything about the brother that was sitting by the pool all them years it took for him? If he could, you need to get up. You need to go and listen, y'all. Listen, we got to be able to do this. Psalm 119, 154, I was reading. It says in verse 55, the wicked will not be saved, for they do not obey your laws. The wicked will not be saved. Don't matter how much I'm talking to this person, how much I'm putting into them. Sometimes it's just what it is. My sheep know my voice. We're spending countless time and hours on people who don't want to be saved. Right? I know we've all did it, right? Stephen, remember when we look at all of the disciples, right? They understood that. Yes, they were prisoners of war. Yes, they suffered tragic deaths. When we look at it, James was what? I get it. James was what? Wait. James was hung upside down. Wait, no. Peter was hung upside down, right? Yeah. Peter was hung upside down. John was skinned alive, right? Bartholomew was sawed to death. Who else? Who was it? Somebody was put in what? Boiling water, right? All these things were ordinations from the Most High Yah, right? And however, sometimes, and I'm not saying that those things weren't designed to happen, but sometimes we get in our own way. You became a victim before it was time to become a victim. Even Yeshua knew when it was time to go. He said, wait, it ain't my time yet. It's not my time to be put on a stake or allow myself to be put up. We sat around too long. Recognize the enemy. Recognize the warnings. The warnings were there. They were put there before. Listen. That was the free will of making of the choice. We had the choice in the matter. Right? But I didn't make the right choice. So we have to sit down. We have to figure these things out. We have to figure out, do I come, do I go? When is the correct time to go? Do I sit around? No. He told you a long time ago, did Abraham sit around when he said it was time for you to leave the land of Ur? Think about this. I know we don't hear about it in Daniel, right? Daniel, when he was with the 3 Hebrew boys, and some of y'all may know Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? In the Babylonian name. Where was Daniel during the time where he was put in the fire? The Most High probably was like, I need you to leave and go and not be there at the time. Because maybe if he was there, maybe it would have, we don't know. Maybe it's just, we got to listen to the Most High when he tells us it's time to maneuver, it's time to go. It's time to, because now we were there and I became a victim before that time, before it was my own time. Choice in the matter. Yes. Even with family, it's time to cut you off. Because the Most High brought me mishkapah. He's brought me family. That's what Yeshua said. This is my family here. I gotta go. I can't perform no works here. I gotta dust my feet off. Because you're gonna hold me back. He said it. Apostle said it earlier today. He said it. He said, yo, listen, you became my pitfall. He gave Kepha, Peter, what? The benediction, because listen, you're Hasatan right now because you're playing with my mind. You're letting me think that, no, I can't be nothing. I can't elevate. Oh, the good old days, the good old times. But the good old days, how many people have we lost in the good old days and good old times? I've lost friends in clubs that were still going on in their life. Older. And I'm like, y'all going to the club still? Boom, going, taken out. Trying to what? Have the good old times. He said it's a time and a place. But the time and the place is now Zaman. It's my timing. It's my time for you to listen, to take heed to my word. Other areas we become the prisoners of war is what? Entrapped in the mind. Why do we get trapped in the mind all the time? Why is the mind so weak? It is weak. Sometimes you got to stand in that mirror. I don't care how many muscles. Hey, y'all seen the Apostle, right? Up in the gym, right? Looking good. That's good. But the mind becomes the weakness. Why do we get so? Why is our mind so weak and we get trapped that we just because of what? The things we never really dealt with. The same battles that our ancestors never really dealt with. The 2 Timothy chapter 1:1-7, right? It says, to your godliness add. I gotta read it. It says, add Christian affection. I'm in the G&T version. But add what? The affection of the Most High. And to your Christian affection, add love. Right? This is what qualifies what you need. And if you have them in abundance, they will make you active and effective in your knowledge of the Lord, of Yeshua HaMashiach, right? So he's telling us, listen, I need your mind to start to strengthen up. But how do we strengthen our mind? Through Torah, through reading, to having a relationship, to spending time with him, to understanding who he is. Because if we understand who he is, if he lives in us and he dwells in us, we know who we are. We're spirit beings having an earthly experience that he wants to what? Elevate us back to have the same heavenly experience on earth. You always say hell on earth. No, heaven is on earth. You are the walking, living heaven. I need you to experience this. I want you to understand this. It's deeper than this. Your mind controls things that get accomplished or don't get accomplished. Weak thinking. I can't. I'm scared. I can't move forward. What if I fail? This is going to polarize you. And it may not polarize you, but it polarizes your children or the people that are around you or the other people in your assembly. Yes, we understand there's a time. We understand when the door. And that's great. But if you do nothing, what usually happens? What are the people who are watching you doing? Exactly what you're doing. No. Now what happens? What happens to them? Right? We got to understand that the locust is a warning, right? The horn is sounding. We're seeing all of these things that are going on around us right now, right? When Yah tells you to do something, move forward because it's people that need to be set free. Jonah, whether people want to get in and I know as we elevate and reread, oh, well, you know, that was a fallacy, or whether it was or not, right? I believe it was true. If he can make man out of nothing, you think he can't make a man sit inside of a fish or a whale for some? You don't think that a whale that can be the size of your whole block, one little man can't sit inside of there? He can go and sit in a flame or send a Melachim to sit in with the 3 Hebrew boys, but we don't believe that someone can't. Listen, y'all. Listen. But Jonah, whether he felt the people of Nineveh were what? They weren't worthy of hearing the way. Well, who was Jonah? Who was he to say that? They're not worthy. Jonah, my opinion was he was scared of the Assyrians that were in the area. I believe that. I know I can't kind of prove that back in the scripture, but you got to understand what was going on and who was living in the area, right? So he was probably saying these people were killers, right? They're relentless. They're murderers. They're not going to change. Most High, I'm not going to go, waste my time. But he said, I'm sending you to them because they will hear what you say. I'm sending you down to Lake Clifton because they're going to hear what you say. I'm sending you out to East Baltimore. I'm sending you to Aberdeen to hear. I'm sending you to Wilmington. I'm sending you to New Jersey. You are a disciple, a prophet in your area. Because why? They're going to hear what you have to say. And they may not hear it as a mass. It's the one person out of the 10 that hears it that can change a whole entire neighborhood, and you may never ever know. Yes. Prophetess, you get it. We look at it and we get caught up with these numbers and caught up in all of this. Yes, we do want to see the fruit, but sometimes it's the fruit of the spirit that's in you that he's blessing you with. He's like, I don't want to. Didn't y'all hear? Didn't y'all know what was going on in Israel at the time and who Yeshua, who Christ was? He didn't. If it was about the numbers, he would have had all of Israel right behind him. And see, that's why we got to be careful, because that's where people, well, King David united everybody, blah, 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 blah. No, listen, I came for my sheep. I didn't come for the whole world. For Yah so loved the world, right? No, he loves those. He said, everyone's not going to be saved. Why is there a heaven? Why is there a hell? Hell wasn't meant for everybody. It was only meant for the demons. It was only meant for unbelievers. He says, I'm coming, and I'm giving you the word, because it is our duty to change the world and change the planet. You have the power to do it. And a lot of it starts in our home, but it starts in our own temple with the ways that we think. Like I said earlier, I was talking to y'all, some of y'all who might not have caught it in early on, about how we always say, these certain group of people commit all these crimes. These certain type of people always kill the innocent. Do you understand the world? Do you understand the planet, that there are areas where, I'm using an example, I said this earlier, Pastor Betty, I don't know if you want. There's places in Africa where they're just all Africans, and all Africans are killing Africans. There's places in the world where you can live in West Virginia, and it's just people of your nationality or of your geographical area in that area. The Most High is saying, listen, we got to learn to hate what he hates. He hates the demon spirit. It's the spirit that's in people. That's why you can see people and they're wicked. It's something about them, right? But we got to overcome. Just like Gideon, he said, listen, I'm going to overcome. I'm going to go in here. In the beginning, he was told, hey, I need you to deliver these people. But Gideon became a prisoner of war, his own thinking, his mind, Pastor, his mind, Brother Chris, his mind said, I can't do it, right? And I like Gideon because if we go back and look at the movie 300, think about it. People they got multi-millionaire, they became billionaires off of, whether it's Gideon, whether it's Second Maccabees, whether it's and I just watched with Mary Gladiator and Gladiator 2. These were stories that were coming about 300. They were biblical stories, and they put it in a twist, but they were strong in the mind. Gideon said, yo, listen, I lost my confidence. I became a prisoner of the war. I didn't trust the Most High. He had doubt. But what happened? Yah had to send an angel and say, no, this is what you're going to do. The human body is made up of the mind, the soul, and the spirit. So we got to understand, we have to sometimes charge ourselves. Remember, all three are supposed to be moving together. Your body is frozen, but your mind saying, I need to run. I don't know if y'all have ever been in that. See, in law enforcement, they teach you different zones. Like your mind is saying, I got to pull my weapon out, but your body is frozen. Well, you better be able to challenge that part of your body to make it move. You better challenge that part of your body that's frozen, that keeps trapping you and making you a prisoner of war. I'm not going to let this person have this much power over me. Y'all get it? We allow people to have too much power over us. And sometimes they keep us from doing things that we're supposed to be doing. Keep us from elevating. Keep us from moving up. We got to see this. We got to see what's going on. 2 Corinthians 10. I'm done right here. 2 Corinthians 10. Thank y'all for joining in. 10:34. I know it's hard on a Saturday. Let me get on here and see what this brother's talking about. And I know people that are coming on and they're coming on late and they're catching it later on. But I just encourage you just to spend time. Spend time with it. Research everything that the Most High has taught myself. And I always say this, there's plenty of teachers. Read for yourself, right? Ask the Most High, show me what I need to do to change in the season. We all don't have the time to. We're all old and gray. There's many people who thought that. There's people who were 15, 16, 17, 8, all the way up who thought that. They didn't have it. 2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 4. He says right here, is it true that we live in the world, but we do not fight from the worldly motives? The weapons we use in our fight are not the world's weapons. They're not the world's weapons. The world's weapon is the weapon of the way. He says something smart to me, I'm going to say something smart back. He puts some brass knuckles on, I'm going to put brass knuckles back. He goes and grabs it. Come on. The corrupt thinking, he did this to me, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to get him. No, he says, this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to fight the way the world fights, but the way that God, that Yah's powerful weapons, excuse me, show us how. It says, his weapons are used to destroy strongholds. His weapon is to destroy the stronghold that's in my mind, the depression, the racing thought. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, there's a reason why. Am I going to ask why? Why am I getting up? What's going on here? Am I going to just roll on over? His weapon is what? Wedged into our mind, but we don't want to use it. We're strict to use the world's weapon. Oh, you curse me out? I'm going to cuss you right on out. I told you the analogy at the stoplight. Instead of just sitting over saying, God bless. You can say this, God bless. And most people could understand that. Now I want to turn up and use the world's way and start cursing him out. That's the way of the world. Who did I lose right there? Maybe that same person who was having that horrible day turned around and that changed their life, and they went home and said, somebody said something to me when I was so angry. It changed their life because that person went home. They didn't beat their wife. They didn't beat their children. They didn't use the drugs. They didn't use the alcohol. Listen, we have to, excuse me, we have to keep our spirit man guarded, right? And it says it right here. We pull down every proud obstacle that was raised against us. Every false argument, right? The knowledge of the Most High. We take every thought captive and make it obey Christ. Take your thought. Man, I'm too tired to read. The Bible says, study to show yourself approved. I'm too tired to listen to Shabbat. I'm too tired to fight. I'm too tired to battle. Take that thought captive. Remember, what would it would say? What WWJD? What would Jesus do? What would Yeshua do? As we use that, as we know that's his true Hebraic name. He's going to what? Empower himself. When he had to go walk up with the mountain, did he say, I can't do it? No, he told himself that. When he got caught in the web with Hasatan in an argument with Satan after fasting, he told himself, I'm going to deal with this enemy right now. We're going to deal with this today. But he knew, excuse me, he had enough power. He knew the battle he was getting ready to step into, right? So he's given us these tools to help fight for our survival as well as everyone else's survival around us. Listen, you can do it. I can do it. Everybody can do it, but you gotta want to do it. I told you I was gonna be done. I was gonna be quick. We gotta shake off the unclean in us. We just rededicated our temple during Hanukkah. That's rededicating. Yah, I know I have been, lacked. I know I haven't been doing the things that you've asked me to do. When you rededicate, you take an oath. Maybe the oath needs to be serious. Maybe the oath needs, think about it. Sometimes they broke their oaths. What did they do? Shave their beards. Shave their head. Maybe sometimes you got to take that serious oath. Maybe. I know Paul warned us against it. But maybe it's the oath, that oath that you have to do. I'm going to read every single night. And if I don't do this, it's just like this. I'm meal prepping and I'm going to follow this meal plan every single day for 5 days, and I'm going to give myself the reward on Saturday for following all week, and I have a cheat day. Sometimes you have to go ahead and give yourself, you may just have to do it. Because why? That's having faith that the Most High is going to pull you through. He's going to help you walk that journey. Right? Our mortal body weighs down our soul. That's why our spirit soul has to be lifted. Continue to lift your spirit man and your spirit soul, because when you do, you lift all those that are around you. The resurrection around you will occur. The resurrection around you will occur. The bones are resurrecting around you. Even when you don't see it, Pastor, Apostle, Sister Sharon, the elevation is occurring. Listen, y'all, I thank y'all for joining me. But we know we will no longer be a prisoner of war. Not when we have Father Yah, who has given us Christ Yeshua on our side. Listen, so there won't be any Shabbat next week. And I look forward to seeing y'all who joined, right? So shalom, 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 ahava. That means I speak peace into you.